Hello and welcome. My name is Melody and today I'm doing a yarn review of Caron's Pantone. Now this is gorgeous. I'm very excited to go through this with you. We're going to be taking this apart. We're going to be deciphering the information from the tag so you know the basics, and then we're going to be seeing how well I can roll it, because this is 5 individual lengths of yarn and that could be a challenge. So I've watched a couple tutorials. We'll get through that. At the end, I'll be going through the 10 basic questions that I like to know about a yarn before I purchase it online. So hopefully by the end of this review, you're going to feel as though you've gone into Michael's and smushed this yarn yourself before deciding if you want any of them. So thank you for joining me. I am Melody from MelodyCrochet. If you have any questions or comments, that is always welcome down below. Also feel free to get a hold of me on social media, which is also linked below. If you like reviews, tutorials, and podcasts about crochet and knitting, feel free to subscribe below. And if you like yarn reviews, like. So thanks for stopping in. Let's get to it. I'm gonna start, first off, I was gonna read the tag to you first, but first let's look at this tag. This tag is gorgeous. If you're looking for something to shove in a gift basket for a yarny person, it's gorgeous. It's striking. Look at the colors. They have a lot of them. And this tag, if you like Pinterest, you're gonna like this tag. I have a board of Pantone pictures, just of Pantone pictures. I call it color combinations because they really show me how to build on a neutrals with a color pop, and I love that. I love color, and it will look like somebody threw a box of crayons on the floor if I was given free reign of all of my projects. I just grab the bright colorfuls, and some people are the exact opposite. Some people will only grab those neutrals and they'll put neutrals together and they'll be dissatisfied at the end because there's no interest. Because you can plan your colors according to, I like unicorns in a meadow, I like a rainbow over an Irish Glen. You grab a picture you love, you see the Pantones on the side, and you can grab the colors from that, go to the yarn store and find them. At least I do. I like it a lot. It's kind of an issue. So when I saw this, I was like, oh my, it reminds me of Pinterest. I was grabbed by the nostril holes and I was just there. So the tag is there. They also have this on there, which shows the same, this is the same hat in different color combination of my colorway, which I went with Morning Blues. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. These are the colors I have in my house, and for fall lately I've been in love with navy blue, so I'm popping navy blue all over the place, and I really like that navy blue. It's vibrant and they have 2 shades of it. I think it's going to be pretty together. And specifics, this is where things got interesting. Now this is sold only at Michael's for $7.99. Now that is a little steep in my opinion for 127 yards, 100 grams of bulky weight yarn. Now this is not going to get me super far on a project because it's bulky and it's 127 yards. The suggested hook size is a J, although I think you could go smaller. You could also go bigger if you wanted something open, of course, but I did my swatch. It's going to be on a J. So if you're knitting, they suggest a size 10 6mm needle. And machine wash, machine dry, 60% acrylic, 20% nylon, 20% merino wool. And it is very soft. It is a lot like, if you're familiar, Wool Spun by Lion Brand. As a matter of fact, if you are looking to match this with a solid and you don't want to go through the link process, I highly suggest getting yourself some Wool Spun by Lion Brand. They still sell it online if they don't sell it in your store anymore. Also, Loops and Threads has started a wool-like in bulky, and they only had about 5-6 colors of it at my Michael's, and they were a smaller hank, but again, you wouldn't be dealing with the chain link. And it looked really nice. I haven't worked with that one. I have worked with the Lion Brand, and I like it very much. I've only knitted with it up to now, but it's nice and soft. It has just enough wool to make the item feel breathable. So if you're looking for something to be a companion they are out there in case you just want this to be your pop, which would be great because that would make it more than worth $7.99 to me. I will say I bought this, of course, with my own money, and it was on sale for $5. Now, size 5 bulky, made in China, free patterns, and there are several free patterns available on yarnspirations.com. They have a great website full of patterns. I love Yarnspirations because that's where you can stock up on all the colors of Caron Simply Soft, and we all know I'm a Caron Simply Soft junkie. I'm kind of nervous. I'll be honest with you. I don't have my scissors. I'm going to go crazy. So the tag is off. I'm going to need scissors. Earl Grey latte. Okay, let's dive deep. Now, I'm going to cut, it said start at the bottom, but they both look remarkably similar. So we've opened this up and taken off the tag. This was on the bottom, this was on the top. I'm gonna start at the bottom just because it said so. So there's that. Getting under that little tie right there, oh crud. And then I'm going to pull. And pull. That's not so bad. This is pretty cool. Has 27 colorways. 7 of those are solid neutrals, and the other 20 are beautiful colorways. This was the top one. It looks like it has a little glad I got the safety scissor. Really wanted to grab some of those other strands. And then it opens even wider. So that's it. How many strands thick is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. 31. So 31. So that's about a yard around. So that's probably about 31 yards. Yep, that would be about 127 yards total if I have 5 of these links. So there we are. Isn't that pretty? That is just so satisfying. Okay, this is a lot better than I was thinking it was going to be. I was intimidated, I'll be honest. But the colors were too pretty and they were on sale for $5, so I had to try it. So this is what we've got now. Let's get unwrapping. Now this is weighted down just because I saw Mikey from Crochet Crowd open one of these and it's more graceful than I am. I would never have been able, he had a great big empty glass jar on a table and it looked like a shiny table. Not this girl. That would not work for me. I would make a big mess. So more power to Mikey, but we're going to weight ours down and put it on a not so shiny surface. I'm on a doily. Now I'm going to snip. This is the end and beginning. So this is a full loop and this is the beginning and the end, and it's formed a little knot and I'm cutting it. Safety scissors. There we go. Let's cut that off. Now I do have a Hank and a Swift, a Swift and a winder, but I would not use that for something this small. So what I'm gonna do is, I kind of wish I had something else to keep this wider. I could see how his larger jar came in handy, but I'm gonna keep it on my arm. So let's use my hand. Don't wind stiffly. You want to give it some slack or else you're going to lose some buoyancy in the yarn. And you're just going to wind. Let's see how long this takes, shall we? Woo! You could drop this, but I've worked with yarn a lot and I've realized that's not a fabulous idea. You end up kind of pulling it tight in some places and it ends up loose in others, and it's not a great idea. It just doesn't work as well in the long run. It takes a little bit, it feels like more patience this way, but you won't have to deal with the cleanup and it's faster and less aggravating. I'd say I'm approaching halfway. and I'm still winding rather loosely around my hand. Feel free, some people like to use like a toilet paper roll and do kind of a center pull. This is a little small of an amount for that. It sounds like I'm insulting it, but I'm not. I wind small amounts of yarn quite frequently to make my minis that I swap with other people, so I'm familiar with winding small amounts, and I don't have a problem with it. I think it's kind of fun, but I wouldn't make it like tragic for myself by using a Swift to unwind or to wind them, or it's a lot more fun just to be hands-on. Super cute. We're getting close. And I'm still just unwinding here. Boop. So far, no knots. I saw one. There is a tie in the middle of one of my loops, which it's kind of a short amount of yarn for them to be tying knots in the middle of, but it is what it is. And there she is. She is complete. You'll have 5 of these cute little balls. If there's any colors you don't use up, just take them, twist your hands in opposite directions, let it fold in on itself, and pull one through the other. And you get a cute little hank. That way they don't get all knotted and messy in your stash. I am back with my swatch. This is all I got for my one color ball. This actually just came out a little bit. I did this on a J hook. Woo! I didn't get to do my 3 rows of granny, 3 rows of V-stitch before my scallop as I usually do because I ran out of yarn, but that's okay. I still get a little bit of a feel how those stitches would turn out. I did get to do my, I am shedding, gracious. I did my 3 rows of double crochet, my 3 rows of half double crochet, my 3 rows of single crochet. And we did have that little bit of puckering in there at the single crochet area. I get that on some yarns, and that usually tells me that I should be using a bigger hook. I do like to use a K hook on bulky yarns more often than not, although on this fabric I can't help but feel maybe a smaller hook would have made it a little nicer without the holes. And I think for a jacket or a poncho or something like that where you really want to be warm, might be a good idea to go down. Maybe an eye hook. But either way, it's pretty. Forgive my light. I am just using the window today, and the sun is being Texas. It's just down, up, but I'm not going to complain. It's beautiful. We've had nothing but storms, and so many people have had so many storms lately. As long as we're in good shape, that sun can do whatever it pleases. So back to it. I just want to give you a feel. This is how that texture worked up. I don't know if I discussed it before, but this is just a bunch of threads. It's 10 threads worked together. And then within that, each thread is also plied. Looks like 2-ply. Let's double check. Yep, it's 2-ply. Don't know if you could see that. And then there's 10 of those 2-plies worked together to make this really soft, fabric-y feeling yarn. It almost has the feel of flannel. It's really nice and soft. So that is where we landed. You might note that split. There's another one too. Boo, 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 boo. I saw it from the other side just now. There's a split also. And ooh, there's one. So why am I showing that to you? Because I'm not going to be able to see it in a minute when I tell you it's a little bit splitty. The color range. Number 1, how's the color range? Solid. It is a beautiful color range. They have 27 colors, 7 of which are neutral solid. So you'll get 5 of those links together in one color. Packaging was beautiful. I really like the packaging. I think it's just a fun idea. It reminds me of Pinterest. It's really neat and tidy, and the colors look striking together, and the little picture of the Pantone they worked from. They could not have done better with that packaging, if you ask me. Is it splitty? I would say yes. Now please keep in mind I used my boy, and it's a J hook, which was the prescribed hook, but I'm thinking another hook might have been better, but I really like to use a nice shiny basic hook when I'm first testing out and swatching a yarn, just so I know exactly what I'm working with and what I'm going to need to do when I work with it later. And I would be wanting to go with another hook. I would probably, is this a J? I would probably go with my tulip. It tends to be the least splitty. It has a pointier top, helps me avoid the splits because splitting is kind of frustrating. And so if you're using a really basic hook, you're gonna want to be super careful of those splits because they do tend to kind of pull at the rest of the yarn. Like I said, it's 10 threads twisted together, and if you yank one out, you kind of see a bit of a pucker. So be careful if you're using a basic crochet hook. And drape. It's not bad for bulky. I think that softness from the wool got in there because this is pretty good for bulky. Now, if you are comparing it to Simply Soft or something, no, it is not drapey compared to Simply Soft. That's a thinner yarn. It's a slinkier yarn. It's all satiny and it's just a great draper. You could tell I love Simply Soft. As far as bulky weight yarns go, this is not too bad, and that softness in there is awesome. So you have a nice, I'd say, outerwear yarn here. I would love to make a poncho out of this. A lot of people are wearing hats. I don't always love to put bulky yarn on my head, but for a kid, oh, that'd be so cute. And maybe if you wanted something bulky, I will, in contrast, use super bulky on a hat because it just looks chunky, or I'll use a thinner yarn because I just think it looks more sophisticated. But this would land right in the middle of that. So normally wouldn't hit with a bulky hat unless there was a pattern that I wanted to try and it needed it. Is it soft? I already hit on that. It is very nice and soft, rather smooshy too. Has a great texture. Just a wonderful, I have a feeling if you used a lot of this, like if you used several of these for a project, it would be very heavy, rather large. It's got some feel to it. It's very dense. I mean, look at that. Now normally the center of your scallop kind of disappears, but that really holds up. A few of those stitches put together nice and close, really, that's rather bulky. You can see my knot right there. Is it shiny? Nope. I would say 2 out of 10 for shiny. There is a slight reflection of the sun back there, but not so much. Most of the light you're seeing is my above light, and it's rather matte. Is it squeaky? Nope. I think that 20% wool really took care of the squeak. So not too shabby at all. Is it true to size? I'd say it's leaning toward the smaller based on the measurements and based on the usage, especially since I'm leaning toward using an even smaller hook with an I hook, because this was a J and I'm like, maybe a little bit smaller would close up some of those gaps. So I would definitely say it's one of the lighter ends of the bulky. Is it awesome? I like it. I'm still put off by $7.99, if I'm totally honest. A smaller project or one like this where I'm just going to pick up 1 or 2 while it's on sale is totally fun, but that $7.99, if you're looking for a blanket or a bigger sweater, that $7.99 is going to that'll hurt, because you're going to need several balls of bulky weight yarn at 127 yards each. So that kind of hurts me still. But if I take away that price tag, I think it is awesome. I like the color range. I love looking at it in the hank with all the colors together. It's so pretty. Is it stretchy? As a yarn, no. Since it's on a hook that is larger than I would normally use, yeah, you got a lot of movement in there. And it is actually really pretty when you open it up. So if you wanted to get one and actually maybe go up to a K for something kind of lacy, that would look really pretty. Maybe a table runner or a mandala, something to that effect, could be really pretty. Now that is all I've got here. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. I hope that you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions on yarn you'd like to see me dive into and give my opinion on, I would love to hear that down below. Thank you for stopping in. Follow me over on social media, like, subscribe, all the stuff, whatever you're comfy with. I can't wait to see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.